Okay, let's say I'm trying to purchase my first home. My credit is not the best. Coach me through this.
So the first thing you want to do is have the mindset to say, I really want to change my situation, because you can get credit repair and spend $90 a month or something for it to be restored and to learn how to pay down the things that you have to pay down and get the other things removed. So you have to have the mindset first. And in 3 months, your credit will be exactly where it needs to be, you know. And you also have to have the mindset to save too, you know, because even though you could get like down payment assistance and all of this cool stuff, you still might have to come and drop some coin. So at the least, you want to have at least $5,000 to $7,000 in your account for like a low price property of like $100,000 or $120,000. You want to have that in your account, even if you don't have to spend it.
Right.
If we get closing credits or grants or whatever, you still want to have that mindset. Like, I've saved up for this. My credit is in order because I paid to take care of that. And now I can be an owner of something. And then when you own something, you have to decide, what type of owner do you want to be? Do you want to be an owner who has no responsibility? Cool, be a condo or townhome owner. But if you want to have responsibilities, buy a traditional home. Still don't want responsibilities? Hire a property manager. You know, so it's really just like taking the time to navigate your life the way you feel it needs to be navigated. You know, you can't go into something and make excuses with real estate. You have to be ready.
Now, let's say I wanna start investing. I personally tell people, don't start with the home first. Start with a 2-3 flat. Mm-hmm. Use the 2-3 flat to get to home. Mm-hmm. Like, would you push somebody towards that way?
I would, if they were. So there are 2 ways to invest. You can do it the multi-unit way, where you're just collecting rents from other people, and then move out after the year, refinance, whatever. But then it's the fix and flip way too. You know, like, if you, let's say a lot of people coming into money, right? You can buy a property, flip it, take that money to use it to get another property. Right. So then at that point, you've done a flip, you have money to get another flip, and you can go ahead and get a multi-unit or something, you know? So it's like, you can really, the 2 to 3 unit way is a good way to just start if you are not necessarily trying to be an investor, but you want to have generational wealth on a easy level. You buy your first multi-unit, after a year or 2, you buy your next one. And then at that point, you got enough equity to where you don't have to wait a year or 2 with FHA or something. You can just use a conventional loan and, you know, use the money you making from that to put down payments on the next one. Go to another state, buy another multi-unit in a different state, you know. That way you maximizing your portfolio to where you can finesse it with FHA. As long as it's another state, you could do FHA as soon as you're done with the first FHA.
I bought my first property, and I hate to say this, I really hate to say this, but I bought my first property cash. Mm-hmm. Like, even though I don't have to pay a mortgage or anything, and I have a renter in my unit paying rent, I still wish I still had that money, you know, and I took out a loan, and I used somebody else's money to, you know, fund this property or my first property, because I still have more of a cash flow to, you know, like you say, go out and do something else.
So, I mean, with a situation like that, it's a fear thing or facing a fear type of thing, because if you have a property with somebody in it, sell the property and take that money to use to get a loan on your next one. You know what I'm saying? It's a seller's market. Make it nice enough to where you can sell it, FHA, conventional, put it at a non-greedy price point because you own it. Yeah. Everything is butter, you know? So just sell it and then start your process over from that point, because owning stuff, and then you selling it at a market rate. So it's not necessarily bad that you bought it cash, but if you want to make, how much did you buy it for?
$53.
Okay, so where is it?
It's in Pullman.
Oh, it was in Pullman, so it's probably easily worth like $150,000.
My cousin, he also a real estate agent, so he told me we could probably get 2 for it, you know.
Depending on what it is and what it looks like. The thing is, just because you have it in a neighborhood that look good or a neighborhood that's on the come up, It still got to look like something.
Yeah.
It still has to be efficient enough to sell it for $200,000. Don't think just because the rest of the stuff selling for that price that yours can too.
I'm cool for the 1 to 150 as long as I at least double my initial investment. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it's definitely, and then too, like real estate, like it's a lot of realtors out here, like cookie cutter realtors, right, where everybody kind of look and move the same. It's okay to get evaluations from different realtors and work with different realtors for different reasons. Sometimes some people may not be educated in a field within real estate because it's so vast that it may not be their strong point, but you have somebody who know how to make it work, and then you just kind of balance how you work with your realtors too, and sometimes you got to just find your person, and that's kind of like my approach with what I do is like, I don't care if you're my client or not. I'm not going to withhold information that could help you win. I'm definitely going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you like your homie. And I'm going to tell you, no, that's stupid. You shouldn't do that. Or I'm going to tell you, actually, that make a lot of sense. Like, this is the best way you can do it. Talk to this person because I know that they could help you get to where you got to go.
You spoke on bringing people into the investment. Why do you think people shy away from real estate, especially like it was a scamdemic in Chicago? You got people getting $100,000, and still just deciding to just splurge that money when I could bring 3 of my homies in. We could all put up 15 apiece and we could go find us a property.
That's because a lot of people probably tried it with traditional lenders. If you have unconventional money that's not coming in the right way, you have to go to hedge fund people or private investors. And it could get discouraging if you like, oh, I got all this bread, I'm finna go talk to Wintrust Mortgage, or I'm finna go talk to this company or this company. And they're like, no, we need W-2s, we need tax returns, we need blah, blah, blah. We need credit, right? There are people out here that I work with specifically because I believe in black wealth. I don't care how you got your bread. I know somebody who's gonna fund your project. Because it's a moneymaker. Investor, these hedge fund people and people with all these millions of dollars, they look for things to funnel their money through. So if it's real estate and it makes sense for them to have a 30-year loan with you, or 1 year, you can do different options even. You do a 1 year when you want to flip it. You do a 30-year when you just want to create more income on top of your loan. Right. And that's the reason I feel like people just think it's so hard. And it's tedious. It's not hard, though. It's really just reading a book. I wrote an ebook called The Home Buying Process. And it literally just takes you from step 1, which is knowing your whole team, to the closing table, because it's just little details. And you're like, oh, okay, so this is what I'm supposed to do right here. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do in this situation. Oh, we're at this step of the process. And then it's like helping you understand. It's like the Real Estate for Dummies book, but I don't want to call it that because that's offensive to me. Don't call me no dummy, But I think it's really just like when you have money that was not legally obtained, or even if it was, but you don't have a way to prove it and stuff, it gets tough when you going into a field like real estate, which is a federal thing when it comes to loans. But there are people who have money, like angel investors, hedge funds. Those people do it a lot with real estate and commercial projects. Like if you look at Sonder, I don't know if you ever heard of Sonder, but it's like a better version of Airbnb. Okay. Where they buy commercial buildings or build them from the ground up, and it's properties in it with studios up to 2 or 3 bedrooms, but it has like your refrigerator, stove, you could cook. It's like living in an apartment, but you have a concierge in the building. That concierge treats it like a hotel. So that's something you could do with a hedge fund or angel investor or something, because it's like, hey, I have this great idea to build this hotel type Airbnb situation where people still have their freedom, but they can call us for anything. And it's real nice, real bougie looking, and they're all over, they're in 35 cities already because they had an idea in real estate. They had funds from maybe 5 or 6 people to put up maybe 50 to 100,000 together to come up with business plans, come up with that first project, buy that first building. And Saunders started in buildings that already, like condo buildings and 3 units.
Yeah.
To where they would just take a unit, deck it out, and say this is a Sonder apartment. You know, so you start small to maximize in any way. You don't have to use traditional loans to get where you want to get in real estate.